Welcome to the FOMO Creator Show. I'm your host, Tsang, first name King, and today we are going to be talking to the incredible John Espirian about his fabulous Espresso Plus online community. This is my first show of the year, so I wanted to wish you Happy New Year, Gung Hei Fat Toy, and Happy Lunar New Year as well. Now, before we start, let's bring up the fabulous John up to the screen to say hello. How are you, John? Happy New Year.
Hi there, May King. Gung Hei Fat Toy to you too. Lovely to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, let's tell the world who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm John Espirian, the relentlessly helpful LinkedIn nerd, a LinkedIn consultant, and I run the Espresso Plus community, which is for small business owners who want to get a bit more visibility online and on LinkedIn. And yeah, we're about to have our first anniversary somehow. Not sure how that's happened, but I'm really delighted to be chatting with you. And you know, we've known each other for years, so thank you so much for having me on the show. And it's great to see you going live on LinkedIn as well.
You are very welcome. Now, I have to admit, this is called the FOMO Creator Show, and you gave me FOMO, John. I was professionally jealous that you came up with your hashtag relentlessly helpful. Oh, no. I just think it's amazing. Now, tell the viewers a little bit more about that.
Oh, wow. God, I mean, it was a stroke of pure luck, to be honest. I was on stage at a conference with Mark Schaefer, my mentor, and he was asking questions, and there was an unplanned question at the end. He said, how are you going to stay relevant in a world with loads of options? And I was like, I'm going to create relentlessly helpful content. And that moment was caught on camera, and it just stuck with me. And that was like almost 6 years ago. And yeah, I haven't looked back since then.
That's amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I often use it and tag you and mention you with it because I just think it's fantastic. In order to generate FOMO, of course, we need to, put our brand out there, get ourselves known, as Mark Schaefer would say, build a community, and you've helped to build a community by writing this incredible book. Tell me a little bit more about Content DNA.
Yeah, it just that stemmed from all of the stuff that I was telling my copywriting clients, because before I became a LinkedIn consultant, I was a copywriter for like 12, 13 years. And I kept telling people the same thing about, forget about just writing words. We've got to think about what the brand is, what we're trying to say, how we can craft our content. And then in the end, I just decided to put it all in a book. I'd been writing for 10 years. It made sense to codify it as a book. And Content DNA was born, and that came out in 2020, and it's been really, really well received. So it shows you how to think about building your personal brand and think about how to create content that is noticed, remembered, and preferred. That's what I'm all about, is just to have your own shape and put that clearly into the world so that people remember you, so you can be chosen.
Amazing. Now, I absolutely love that. And presumably you've extended what you've learned, popped it into a book, and you've extended it now into your community called Espresso Plus. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that came from having a mailing list, which was great because I was able to communicate with my audience. But I was having lots of interesting one-to-one conversations with people through that. But those people weren't speaking to each other. They didn't even know who each other were. And I decided to say, let's create a group so that people can talk to each other. I did that. That was the free Espresso group. And then that became a full-time job. It was like there was something like 650 people in there within a few months. And I thought, I can't do this and be a copywriter. Something's got to give. And so in the end, I decided to monetize it. And that's where the Espresso Plus community, that was the genesis of it. And it's since developed into, loads of other things going on to make the community. And that's what I've been doing for the past year.
Amazing. Now, let's tell the world a little bit more about Espresso Plus, because actually we were talking to one of your founder members, which we'll bring up on the screen shortly. And she was talking about something that I resonate with as a business owner. Because I want people to like me, I just want to share everything, all of my knowledge online. But you balance it really well, don't you? In being relentlessly helpful, you service your Espresso Plus community first and foremost before you put things out onto the public. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a long time building up my social capital, my social credit, if you like, by giving away as much helpful free content as I could. But there comes a time where you want to kind of cash that in a little bit. And if you've got paying clients, you need to honor those people first, really, because at the end of the day, they're keeping the lights on. So I will always try and create exclusive premium content for the people who are paying my bills, and then devote whatever's left of my head and my heart to the people who are out there in lurker land who are consuming that content for free. Obviously, in the long run, you want to appeal to everyone if you can, so because they come in to become paying members. But you've got to take care of your clients first, because if you don't, they might leave you, and that's not really a good thing. So I try and focus on Espresso Plus first. If I'm serving them and they're happy, I'm all good. If I can help the rest of the world beyond that, brilliant. But you have to prioritize.
Now, I absolutely love that. And I also love the fact that you are servicing the lurkers as well, because one of the phrases that I do use in talking about creating FOMO for your business is to create content for the lurkers. So in you publishing content after the exclusive has gone to your Espresso Plus, it may go public, and that will help your content, your lurkers to get excited and then hopefully find out more about you. Now, one lady who isn't a lurker is one of your founder members of Espresso Plus. So let's bring her up to the screen, the fabulous SD.
Hi.
How are you, my lovely?
How are you guys doing?
Oh, great to see you.
Very, very well.
Good.
We are looking like
so you can see I'm hot, and like you put
amazing. Now I'm just going to we're looking like Dallas here, aren't we? The three of us, or the Charlie's Angels, but we'll just concentrate on you, SD, because I'm going to embarrass John a little bit by asking you a little bit about you. Let's tell the world who you are and what you do, first of all.
So, like John, I fell into a couple of things. So, a company I have is Boost Sales, and we help a lot of startups, entrepreneurs, and corporates to do better on LinkedIn, understand how to do lead generation. I always say there's three things. Actually, it was two things and now three things on LinkedIn. The good news, it's all about the data. The bad news, it's all about the data. And the not so, I don't know what to do with the news, is it's not about the data at all. It's about relationships, which is what John is all about. So it's about understanding all those dynamics and trying to figure out, what do we do? How do you do it? Honestly, it's overwhelming. I don't know where to go. I'm spending time on wasting. So that's what we help you to do.
I absolutely love that. As you alluded to, SD, being in business can often feel like the loneliest place on the planet, but it doesn't need to be when you're a member of Espresso Plus and you've got John there cheering from the sidelines with pom-poms with you. Can you tell the viewers what impact John and his Espresso community has made on you and your business?
So John's Espresso Plus group is the only group I belong to. It's as simple as that.
Right.
I don't belong to any other groups. You will not convince me to move or to subscribe to anything. I don't care that I'm paying for it. The reason I'm paying for it is I know the people that are there are contributing. They want to learn. They are adding value. So, I was asking John earlier today, how does he add so much value all the time? Because that's what makes group fail, is the founder disappears and there's a comment every now and again or whatever the case is. And, John really does live up to his relentlessly helpful. He's always got a suggestion, or I've got someone that can answer a question. There are things that people are bringing to the group, and a lot of us are competitors in some essence, but it doesn't matter. We're bringing things to the group to go, well, have you seen this? Or look at this module, or this is something new. So it's definitely a group that my eyes have opened in terms of LinkedIn groups. But I think a lot has got to do with Mr. Espirian. I promise you, it's probably that is the USP. It's not the fact that it's a LinkedIn group.
Amazing. Can you tell a little bit more about how you service your community then? You mentioned that there are a few people in Espresso. You're not competition. There's enough for everybody, right? So who do you service specifically?
I'm somehow starting to work. Actually, it's quite weird because I'm in South Africa. Hence, it's so nice and lovely and sunny. And I've got a lot of international clients, which I'm so blessed to have. I really am. But I am finding quite a few more sales teams. So I think since social selling has become this thing post-COVID, everyone's sort of starting to wake up to go, oh, well, we need to figure out how to use this channel. Plus, on the flip side, the sales managers are going, well, my sales team say they're spending 6 hours on LinkedIn and they're not getting any results type. So it's that getting the balance right for everybody. So it's been a lot of fun. I said to somebody earlier this morning, I'm very blessed in terms of being able to help sales teams feel more comfortable, because I think us that are on LinkedIn often forget how nervous people become to post, to share something, to put themselves out there. We get bored of us saying the same thing over and over again. But we mustn't forget there are people that this is not natural to, and it's our duty to help them to get there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Esty. Thank you for sharing your experience of being part of John Espirian's Espresso Plus community. I'm going to bring up the fabulous Tristan now. He's also a founder member of Espresso Plus. Tristan, hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to be here.
Let's tell the world who you are and what you do.
So anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Tristan Griffiths, better known as I'm Tristan G across all the socials. I actually head up an agency called In9.media, and our focus is around what Estee was just talking about, removing that overwhelm of social media content creation and live streaming. So it's at a really human level, helping people to get the knowledge out of their head online efficiently, effectively, and to show up in more places in less time.
Now, you're a founder member of Espresso Plus, and I asked the question to Esty, so I'm going to ask it right back at you as well. What impact has John Espirian and his community had on you and your business?
So I think one of the most impactful things about how John's gone about setting up the Espresso Plus community is he's been very intentional about how he's approached setting it up. He's thought it through, and he's also worked out where he can serve at the highest level. So he's worked out how many members he thinks he can serve at a really high level. That means if I drop John a voice note or a message quickly, I'm probably going to get a response within a couple of hours. You know, and realistically, it's usually a couple of minutes, and it's not just a quick reply. John deep dives into it, and he'll go and record a video and a walkthrough and show you how to do it. And as someone who runs a community, I know the level at which that works and like how much commitment it is to do that. But of course, as a content agency, we understand that those are digital assets that serve other people. The way John differentiates from a lot of other groups is that it's very personal. So it will come back and it will be a walkthrough for you that might explain a couple of the general, but then also deep dive why it matters, you know, how it would impact your business or your brand and things like that. So having a great community of, as I said, great people who are sharing, contributing, very active in the community. And then also having access to John to be able to answer questions very quickly. You know, it's the same as us dealing with removing the overwhelm in that content space. It's the same in there, that if you've got anything to do with LinkedIn or even down the copywriting route and looking at things like that, John's there, he's available, he's accessible. And again, you know, not to bash any other groups, but there are a lot of groups where you're sold into the person who runs it and those people just aren't available. And like, I know it because when we coach and mentor, like I'm taking a call in Tesco's, you know, so like that, John has that level of accessibility as well. And it really resonates with me. And I mean, the value is incredible, like what the cost is versus the access to the knowledge and expertise that John's got over a prolonged period. It's not just, he's not someone who's just learnt it today and is kind of, in the social digital world, it can be people hear it and reshare it, or they've just learnt it. John has lived and breathed this for a long time. So it's really, really quite impactful. And like I said, the community side and the people is great as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Tristan. I hope you're blushing, John. Are you
That's
blushing?
fantastic. That is fantastic. Thank you so much to both of you. Those are really, really kind words. I'm just sitting here smiling. It's just fantastic to know that it's.
You can send the check later, John.
yeah, and particularly around the stuff around the personal side of it is that's why I've consciously limited the size of the membership. There's no way that I could do this if we had like 10,000 members, because you see some groups are huge. I just couldn't do what this is at that size. I just I wouldn't sleep. I mean, I barely sleep as it is, but I get to know people and I get to understand what their preferences are, what their concerns are. I'll know that I shouldn't send a voice note to SD, for example, because she doesn't like voice notes, but Tristan does, so I'll send them to him. So you get to know people properly, and that's a kind of like a different level of service to just, here are 5 tips. It's just a lot more personal, and people inside the community. I think the great thing is, although obviously I'm leading this thing, people are getting to know each other, they're meeting up. We even had like a book club within the community that wasn't organized by me. It was just like an independent, emergent thing that Tristan helped to lead, and also another one of our members, Sandra Clark, helped to lead. And it was just, that's fantastic, because I'm thinking this is added value, and it was never planned, but there it is, it's happening anyway. So that kind of organic thing, I just think is fantastic.
Wonderful. Now, I'm just going to say goodbye to SD, goodbye to Tristan. Thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to have John all to myself for a little bit, because you're actually opening the paving the way for new members, aren't you? So tell us a little bit more about Espresso Plus community and how people can join.
Yeah, sure. So they can come along and join through my website. So I'm sure you'll have the web link along the screen. There you go. We're all prepared. Fantastic. Yeah. So people can join either as a monthly or yearly. I must admit that I am going to be putting the prices up for new members from the start of February, because that kind of coincides with our 1-year anniversary. So if you are on the fence and thinking about joining us, now would be a good time to secure the price, because I'm not going to raise the price for existing members. It's only going to be for new people. So between how long have we got? 6 days, is it, until the end of the year? That gives people a chance to hop in at the good rate. But yeah, we've got a ceiling on membership of 300. We're at something like 230 at the moment. So there's still space for people to come in. But as I said, I'm deliberately keeping it small, because one, I don't have enough space on my wall for all the Post-it notes for all the members, because everyone who's a member has got a Post-it note. But also just so I can keep that personal level going, because I'd hate for people to join something and then not feel as though they're being serviced by the person who's leading the thing. So I'll always do that. That means, it's a deliberately small community. And the other value of that is that you get a chance to experiment in a safe space. So we got people who have started podcast and started creating video, and they would never have done that with like 900 million people watching them. But if there's only 200 people or 300 people watching you and everyone's cheering you on, all of a sudden it becomes a lot more of a nice proposition, and you develop kind of almost in secret, and then you're ready to graduate into the public with your content. So it's just been lovely to see those success stories coming along.
Well, thank you so much for your time again, John. I will be joining Espresso Plus as well. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of the community. So if you want to know more about Espresso Plus, go to jesp.me/join. If you want to lurk for a little bit, do connect with John Espirian on LinkedIn, of course. Do connect with Tristan and SD as well. This has been me making Tsang, first name made king, on the FOMO Creator Show. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.